which we produced the first Penthouse Pet of the Year awards for Bob Guccione back in the day that I was in that business. And he had, of course, Playboy magazine had come out, and it was the early 50s, and he had seen everybody that he could see looking for funding for Penthouse magazine. Now, why would you want to fund Penthouse magazine when somebody was a huge success, Hugh Hefner with Playboy? Now, I would have used that there's got to be room for two in the market, what I would have said, and they were going to be more risque, the pictures. But anyway, so he had seen everybody in the world. He was sleeping on a park bench in Hyde Park across the street from the Grosvenor House Hotel. And he met a guy that, an Australian, that said, I'll give you £5,000 for half the rights, worldwide rights of Penthouse. £5,000. At that time was about maybe $20,000. And Guccione took it. And he was so elated. He got a room at the Grosvenor House. He took a bath, a shower, had a good dinner, went out, and I'm sure he went out and got laid. And then the next morning he woke up and said, what the fuck have I done? What the fuck have I done? I sold half the rights of my dream for £20,000, or $20,000, equivalent to $20,000. He went back to the guy, and he had borrowed money from everybody he knew. When he called them and he saw people on the street, they walked the other way. Okay. And so he went back to this guy, and he found somebody else that was able to loan him the few £100 that he had spent on dinner in the hotel. And he went back and gave the guy the money back and got out of the deal. 5 months later, he funded the deal in Australia. And he had taken a tramp steamer. He worked his way shoveling coal on a tramp steamer from London to Brisbane or someplace in Australia. But he had spent years trying to get this deal funded. I told you this is about the guy from Sylvester Stallone, when he finally got his deal. I told you about the guy from George Lucas telling, what's his name, who's a carpenter on the set. And they never gave up. They never gave up. What financial institutions, okay, why you go to the least likely to loan first? Why do you go to the least likely to loan first? Because you're going to make the most mistakes. I used to go to cities, places outside the city, and then when I got serious, I'd go to financial institutions that could fund my project, that were near and that were geographically desirable. How do you interview the banker? We've already said that. But one of the things I left out, and I just brought up, what's your credit limit? And when we start doing presentations with Whipple, I mean, you're going to see how it's more smooth and more polished. Why is the first impression important? You want to look like, if you're a guy, you want to look like Whipple. You want to look like Whipple. Or, now I wouldn't come in with a pocket watch, with a $100,000 pocket watch and, $50,000 cufflinks like I wear and all this shit. I wouldn't do that, because what do you need the money for? I mean, but I would wear a two-piece suit, blue or white shirt, simple tie, maybe a white handkerchief, not a colored handkerchief, or your shoes, your belt, and your watch band all matching. And what I already told you, what the banker really wants to hear, that you're going to pay him back no matter what. How to role play for a successful financial presentation. We started, and we're going to continue it tomorrow. The most important question you need to ask your banker